that's organized to celebrate student achievement. So as a brief context, it's really something that's more within the school. So this is the outline of our presentation for today. So first we'll talk about the process of planning the event, how the communication plan was developed, in terms of by considering the perspectives of the stakeholders involved. And then we'll talk about the event, briefly talk about the event itself, and some samples of our written communication and descriptions of our oral presentation. And then we'll evaluate these communication efforts in terms of what potential challenges they might be, and then we'll talk about the solutions. Okay, so developing the communication plan. How we developed it, we used the basic PAC framework. So first we had to decide what kind of event we are going to organize, because that will set the context for who we communicate with. And in terms of who we communicate with, that would we will have to consider their role in the event and the possible concerns they might have. So yeah, so that's for the issue. Yeah, so this is the mind map of our stakeholders, and we divided it into external stakeholders and internal stakeholders. So yeah, so most of the internal communications will be through assembly, oral presentations, but letters will also be sent to the parents, but that's for external stakeholders. Yeah, and we need to contact sponsors as well as the guests of honor as well. Yeah. Thank you. Okay.
So now we will move on to the event. Okay, we're going to talk about the event overview now, because it's still we came from the perspective that we're in the preliminary stages of planning, and we are planning for the future. So we used the 5 W's and 1 H to help us. We used the 5 W's and 1 H to help us focus our discussion and know exactly what's going to happen. So when is Gala Lunch? Where? 10th of March next year, because now is October 2017, right? So we are planning to celebrate the achievement of students this year, next year. Where? School hall. Who? The entire student body and all the staff. Why? Is because, as Hui already mentioned, we are celebrating the successes of the dance academy and the concert band, and how this is some of the things that we want, and it's just by the guest of honor and principal, performance by the CCAs, and 8-course lunch, and also a lucky draw. Can we have the next slide, please? Okay, so this is our timeline, our hypothetical timeline. So now is October. 13th of November will be when school ends, and that's the week of staff meeting before the teachers actually go on their 1-month holiday. So the committee will actually meet for preliminary brainstorming and planning, and spend the December holidays working on the proposal because it's a big event. And then 27th December is when the staff come back right after their long holidays, and so that's when the proposal is finalized to be submitted to HOD. Okay, 5th of January is actually after the first week of school. It's a Friday, so we will have a presentation to the school management committee about this event. Then from the 5th January to 5th January to 31st January is when, after the school management actually approves, then we will contact the sponsors, contact the guests of honor, and finalize the details of the event. And then after that, 5th February will be staff briefing and staff meeting. So it's like a over 2 months of planning. Alright, and then on the 6th of February, once the staff knows about it, because teachers have to know about it first before students, then we will brief students at assembly about this big event. And then after the assembly, once students know, then we will disseminate information to the parents, either through emails, through the school portal. And then once all the announcements are made, then in the month of February, we prepare for the event. we then start to release online announcements. And then 7th of March is actually the week before the March holidays. So we chose 10th of March because it's the Saturday when the March holidays begin. Will be the dry run. Alright, and then 9th of March, usually the day before the actual event, everybody will be staying in school, will be for the final preparations before the actual event, which is 10th of March on a Saturday. Okay, and then so Sarah will now talk about our communication plan.
Okay, so now I'll brief through the forms of business communication that we did in relation to planning for this event. Okay, so we chose to include the formal email invitation to the guest of honor, who is an alumni member of the school who is coming back to serve again. The second one is an email to staff to inform them about the event. The third one is an announcement on the school portal to notify the school about the program and what's going to be happening on that day. The fourth is an email to corporate sponsors, and the last one is a letter to parents to inform them about the event and to also invite them to join in the festivities. So I'll now go through the different samples. Okay, so in the sample email invitation to the guest of honor, we highlighted the purpose of the event and why we wanted him to come down. So for this specific context, right, he as an alumni member of the school, and he was a former leader of the concert band. So our event is focused on the performing arts. So we thought that it would be a very good opportunity to get an alumni member to come down and to serve as a source of inspiration to the students through this event as a guest of honor. Moving on, this is a sample email to obtain sponsorship for our gala lunch. Is to get sponsorship for contributions for the lucky draw prizes to be sponsored, and also some equipment to showcase the different performing arts skills and performances of the students. And then this is the sample letter to parents. This is to let them know about the event and why we're having the event, and that is to celebrate the achievements of the performing arts groups in the Singapore Youth Festival, which is why we're having this performing arts gala lunch celebration, and it's to also invite them to join us for the celebration. And this is the sample of our social media announcement, which will be available on the school portal and school website. So also let everybody know about what's going to be happening on that day, and that they will be featuring a lunch and also the performances and lucky draw. So this is to let them know what they can expect. Okay, so now I'll also briefly go through the oral presentations that we wanted to do. So we picked out, for the first one, we wanted to show how we were going to brief school management about this event. Okay, so this briefing is something that we seek to do in the initial stages of the planning. The purpose of this, right, is to obtain approval from the school leaders to get their feedback about whether our planning at that point is suitable and appropriate, and whether it can get the green light to go ahead. And it's also to present this initial proposal for the event. And so in doing so, we hope to get some constructive feedback, which is very important for us to move along and move ahead to modify our plan towards the final version. Okay? And we also want to establish a consensus on what the safety response should be to any potential safety concerns. Because these decisions is something that higher management normally do, and so we would like to seek approval as to what the standard operating procedure for safety concerns should be on that day. And also we want to come to an agreement and a consensus about what the intended objectives of this event is, and also so that we will be on the same page when we communicate about this event to different stakeholders. The next one is the briefing to the staff about the event. This will occur during the staff meeting, the general staff meeting, where every staff member will be there, whether teaching or non-teaching, because everyone is going to be involved. And it's to let them know about the program, what's going to be happening on that day. And this will be occurring when the planning is generally more complete and it's already the more or less finalized plan. This is to inform staff about what's going to be happening, but most importantly is also to settle deployment matters. Is to let let staff know what they are going to be doing that day, what their responsibilities are, and things that they need to take charge of. So for example, a classroom, managing the classes, managing the CCAs, and things like that. Okay, and it's also to inform them of the instructions and points of note, and to let them know who the key planning committee members are and who they should contact if they have any queries. Okay, so I'll also go through the success criteria for the event. Okay, so what would make our event successful, right, is that it needs to end on time. Firstly, it needs to be well planned and well thought out, so that we won't overrun because there are many people, many stakeholders involved. We need to ensure that it's well organized from the start to end, all deadlines are met, and that people involved are deployed effectively and efficiently. And what this means is that everyone who has a role or responsibility on that day needs to know exactly what they're doing, and needs to know why they're doing that. Okay? And also proper channels of approval are considered each and every step of the way to ensure that we are on the right track, and that communication is clear to all stakeholders throughout, and that any issues or problems that come up will be effectively addressed and quickly resolved, and to also have a good consolidation and reflection at the end of the.
Okay, so I'll wrap up this entire presentation by talking about the purpose, audience context, as well as our challenges and our reflection. Okay, so if you saw at the beginning, right, understanding the PAC actually allows us to pre-plan any problems that we might face throughout the entire event. And although the content is largely similar to the information, there must be a difference. So we have different audience members. You have to pitch the event differently to them. For example, sponsors, when you pitch it to them, you need to tell them what exactly you need, and of course how much of it you require. These are information you don't provide to the guest of honor. And likewise, you wouldn't tell parents about all the underpinning needs that you require for the event to them. So there is a certain specialized bracket of information that is required for different types of audiences. And our third point, relay information on a need-to-know basis in order to keep the gist of information short and to the point. I think this is a point that many groups brought out, that because time is of the essence, and of course you want to relay as much information as you can, but specifically to those people, you need to be short and to the point. And also it helps to keep information to relevant parties involved. As you mentioned earlier, you wouldn't want to inform the guest of honor about what you want from the sponsors, because it's really on a need-to-know basis. We have highlighted 3 possible challenges that we might face throughout this entire event. The first is, of course, the tight timeline. Collaboration needs to be coordinated. So this is where it's important that you need to regularly update the relevant parties involved, such that you know how much progress has been done, whether, for example, if you do need help, who else can you rope in to help out with the event. You need to have meetings with the relevant personnel and appropriate points in the timeline to check on the progress. So you need to make sure that progress is made at specific points and not just, okay, oh, I forgot, let's catch up with these people. Okay. Secondly, our logistics, space constraints in the school hall. So the school hall, of course, limited in size, but we want to encourage the most amount of people to participate in this gala event. So what we've done is that instead of a sit-down lunch, we've done away with the sit-down lunch. Instead, we have a buffet where people can mix and mingle, and so that the students can also mix with the alumni, the guest of honor can mix with the students and the alumni, and even our sponsors if they choose to show up. So it's an affair where everybody, there's no hierarchical status, everybody is mixed around with everyone. And the third challenge that we have is that because here we are celebrating the success of our students during the SYF, it's important that it's not just the SYF where we are here to celebrate, it's not just the achievements that we're here to celebrate, but what we want to do is that we want to expand this, that we want to show that the achievements that the students made for the SYF is part of our school spirit, it's part of the larger ethos that our school envisions. So it's important that we convey the commendations of the achievements in relation to the overall school spirit, instead of just saying that, okay, we're having this gala lunch specifically for these people, because then it would be very weird, first of all, that we are holding an entire gala lunch, we're inviting so many people, we're inviting a guest of honor just for a specific few. And secondly, we want to celebrate the school values. So the reason why we have this gala lunch is not to just celebrate the success of these students, but the values that they embody and how these values that they embody can be expanded to the larger school population. So it's important that the way in which we convey is not just this solitary few people, but rather the school is celebrating as a whole, because we've exhibited our school spirit on the large stage. Finally, we'll look at our reflections that we have. We only have 3, and it's really focused on the practicalities of school-based communications. So throughout this entire event planning, we realized certain things. First of all, because there's such a wide range of communications involved, you have your letters to different parties, you have oral presentations, you even have social media at times being involved. It's very important to have a committee to maybe be in charge of different areas. And what happens is when they are in charge of a very specific task, it enables them to constantly catch up with it, make sure that there's progress, and also if there's no progress, they can attend to it quickly. Secondly, you do realize that one of the things that we've done very differently is that this is a gala lunch, not a gala dinner, which is something that we found very unusual. But we realized that the scope of the event and the size of the event would then require us to incorporate a larger number of stakeholders. So for example, if let's say we increase in size, we foresee additional stakeholders such as you might have the traffic police. In case you have lots of cars coming in, you need to involve the traffic police as well. Media coverage. If this had a guest of honor that was the minister, you might have to have national media come in. And if you have, even if let's say if it's a very large event, you might have people higher up on the MOE ladder. And lastly, if you notice, I think very carefully, for most of us, the start of the communication plan usually happens at the event planning stage. Because when we know what is going to happen on events, we also know who do we need to communicate. And so therefore, the communication plan should always happen alongside the event planning, which is really at the start of the event itself. So this is something that happens alongside the actual event. All right, so with that, thank you very much. We'll take any questions that you might have.
Okay, this group went to 16 minutes 56 seconds.
Any questions?
Any questions for this group? No questions? Okay, thank you.